All right. So again, thank you for meeting with me today. I just have a few questions for you. If you happen to have a little bit of time to get through it, six questions. Um,
Okay.
just kind of reflecting on your time at Central and kind of what it, I guess my first one is, so you were a member of the swim team for CWU from 93 to 97.
Yeah.
What was the original draw to come to Central? What drew you here in the first place?
So I knew I wanted to be a teacher since like kindergarten. And so Central has a really wonderful education program. So that was like part of the initial draw. And then my older brother happened to be there swimming at the same time. And so I got to, when we would go to swim meets and things, I got to hang out with the swim team members because my brother was on the team. And so I kind of followed in his footsteps to head there and swim, and was fortunate enough to have him be my swim coach my freshman year. So it was awesome.
Huh, I didn't even know that. So that's really awesome.
Yeah.
It must have been a fun little like I have some All-American honors and which also speaking of you are one of the most decorated swimmers in CW history. You had 21 All-American honors and a national championship to your name. What were some of the keys to your success that helped you become have such a legendary career?
Well, to be honest, swimming was never optional for us. My mom drowned as a child and was brought back to life. And so she was very passionate that all of us would be really strong swimmers. So we started swim lessons when we were like 6 months old. And then joined the swim team, I think, when I was about 6 years old. And um, it just was like it was the heart of our family of everything that we did. And I had really great coaches growing up and made some really good friends. They're still my lifelong friends now. um, we I don't know, my I have two older brothers, and my middle older brother was quite a remarkable swimmer himself. And I guess being the baby sister, there was a very competitive drive to keep up, and just a whole lot of goal setting. Being on the swim team, you're constantly setting one mini goal at a time, one event at a time, whether it's to meet like a cutoff time for the next level of competition, or um, just making a personal record, beating your own best time. And yeah.
Well, I'm very happy that your mom is okay and ended up being okay. That's terrifying.
Yeah.
But I probably it doesn't hurt to learn to swim. I know I definitely struggled with it growing up. So
Hmm.
it obviously worked out for you. You had such a phenomenal career. And so I guess I just was hoping that you could maybe guide me through what it was like to win the 96 national championship in the 200-yard freestyle. What was that moment like for you? Like, what were you thinking? What were the emotions you were feeling?
Um, so it was a little bit surreal. Like, I don't know. It was the first and only time I was ever a national champion. I had competed at the national level as a kid, many, many times. But when you get to the national level, you're swimming with the big fish, not the you're not the big fish in the small pond.
Mhm.
You're just swimming with the big fish. And so I don't know. I always took my racing very seriously, and you just kind of get in a zone. And I don't know, everything just clicked in that particular race, and it felt awesome. It was a pretty close race. The second place person was like right there, and when I looked up and saw that I had taken first, it was just kind of like, what? A little bit surreal.
It definitely, it's not something that a lot of ex people get to experience. So it's really cool getting to hear that firsthand, like, oh, this is like how I've felt like this. Just didn't even realize. Like, it's fun getting to that perspective because usually it's just as a fan perspective, which is like you're just observing from the outside.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so my next question was, How has the CW swim program impacted you to this point of your life today?
Um, so I mean, it was kind of a continuation of the life that I had always lived. Um, and so when I went on to Central to continue my swimming career, um, again, I made new lifelong best friends, and so the people that I met there are still my best friends. I mean, we still get together and do a girls' weekend every summer, and so it there's like this almost a family connection. Like you come away, you go away to school, and you leave your family behind. I mean, you visit, but essentially you're starting out on your own, and then to make those connections with those people and have it become like your chosen family, right? Those people that are important enough, and they have the same goals, the same interests, the same work ethic that you have. They have those same childhood experiences of playing cards for hours at the swim meets while you're waiting for your next turn to race, and braiding hair and all of those those silly things that you do while you're a kid and you're spending three days every weekend hanging out at a swimming pool just waiting to compete. And um so it definitely it has made a lifelong impact or a continuation of like those goals and dreams and strong family and friend bonds with people. um the other part of that though is like going to Central to become a teacher. That definitely has impacted me as well. I'm in my 26th year of teaching, and I'm sure she doesn't work there anymore. But when I was getting my special ed degree, um, Professor Alberto Tifo was honestly one of the most impactful teachers I've ever experienced post elementary school. And she was intimidating at first, and then when the more classes I took from her, the more I realized she just was somebody who continually set you up for success. And so she was just like a model of really good teaching. And so some of the strategies she would use to teach us are strategies that I still use today in my own classroom. So that was another great Central impact. I know it's not the swimming program, but she was amazing.
It's so fun, like when you get a little bit older and you're like, I do that. And my when an ex-teacher or whoever taught that to me, and I implemented that. Like getting to see that is and getting to have that impact on people is, I feel like something special.
Yeah.
Which actually you've also, I guess, kind of started to answer my next question, which was uh, after graduating from CWU, you've been teaching first in the Bremerton School District and then now in the Peninsula School District.
Mm-hmm.
How's that experience been? And especially getting to teach close to your hometown of Port Orchard.
Yeah. Um, each school has its own flavor. I'm now at my third school that I've taught at. I this is a totally random story, but I was at Costco the other day, and I was heading out to my car to put my groceries into the back of my car, and there happened to be like two high school age kids at the car next to mine, and this young man looks up at me and he says, "Can I ask you a question?" I was like, "Sure, go for it." And he goes, "What's your name?" And I was like, "Well," and by this point, I completely recognized the kid's face. I can't remember his name to save my life because it's 26 years of teaching. But I looked at him and I said, "You would remember me as Mrs. Ferencik." And he's like, "I thought so." And started talking about how he wanted to come and volunteer at the elementary school that he was in my class in second grade. And I told him that I wasn't at that school anymore, but he definitely should. And so I feel like the gift of being a teacher is that in really small ways, like you never know whose life you're impacting in what way, but when kids start hunting you down to call you to thank you for being patient with them when they knew that they weren't always easy to have in class, and um, when you can look at kids every day and say, hey, people won't always remember what you did or what you said, but they will always remember the way you make them feel, and have that like really hit home into heart, and realize how many lives you've touched, and even those that you haven't kept in contact with, you're just always hopeful that you impacted them in a way that they always felt like they were important and valued, and that I was kind and patient and caring. And yeah, you hope they learn a whole lot of stuff along the way, but if you're able to be that somebody that is a value added
Mhm.
to another human's life, and if they walk away with any of that, like being a kind and patient and caring person is probably like the most important lesson that I hope that they learn from me. And so being a teacher has, I mean, I love my job. I absolutely love my job. I love showing up for the kids every day. I enjoy watching them learn and grow and wonder. I love the questions that they ask. I love like the school that I currently work at is a project-based learning STEAM school. And so a lot of our units of instruction revolve around ways to make the world a better place. How can young kids get involved and think about ways to make the world a better place, whether it's the environment or caring for your community, or um, right now we're doing an economics unit and they're creating crafts to sell at a bazaar so that they can raise money to donate to the local food bank. Um, and it's really impactful. Like I feel like a lot of people these days have gotten lost in technology and kind of lost their connection with the human race. So the actual face to face and caring about people and the community and making a difference, that's positive. And so having this platform to help guide where what kids are thinking and feeling and exploring and learning about is like the greatest gift ever. And then when you do hear back from them and they let you know that they appreciated you being there for them, it means the world.
And I definitely have a couple friends that are they're in the teaching world, and it's a thankless job, like for the most part. But like when you do get those see those special moments, it's special. Like you remember them for at least the rest of your career, if
Yeah.
not longer. So I just want to say thank you for your service and
Yeah.
for te helping make the world a little better place. I thought that was a very nice way of putting it.
Yeah.
And so I guess my final question for you is, if you have any stories that you're willing to share to Wildcat Nation, from your time at CWU or afterwards or whatever you're willing to share.
I remember going on some amazing hikes while I was there. We would hike up to the Book. I don't know if you know what the Book is.
I don't think I do
It's
actually.
yeah.
I don't
Okay.
think so,
So
yeah.
no. Oh, well,
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think I've heard of that.
okay. So yeah, hiking up to the Book, Menashtash Ridge, camping at Swat Creek, um, heading up to the water tower, road trips with the swim team. I remember one where I think one of the pictures that I sent where me and my girls are sitting in the back of the bus. We were heading up to Simon Fraser and in the snow, and it was just um, getting to go and compete at nationals in Texas was a lot of fun. The first year that I competed at nationals in Texas, my brother was my coach that year. And so that was amazing to have that experience of a national road trip with him. And Yeah, just lots of fond memories. My husband and I both worked at the swimming pool. So we taught swimming lessons and we were lifeguards while we were there. Um, Met some fantastic like teacher families who had kids in swimming lessons and um, yeah, kind of wonder what those kids are doing these days.
Hey, you never know. They might reach out one day and say, ask, talk about how you impacted their lives.
You never know. Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that that's all that I have for you. I really appreciate your time so much. And I look forward to getting to meet you in person here sooner than later, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. Me too.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much. And I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thanks. You too, Blake.
Thank you.